Hi guys, and welcome to episode 27 of Notable Needlework. I am Kate, Notable Needle, N-O-T-E-A-B-L-E, on Ravelry, on Plurk, and on Twitter. The blog, if you are watching this on iTunes, is at notableneedlework.blogspot.com. And I don't think there's any other relevant information that goes there. It has been an interesting week, to say the least. Action-packed, if you will. I'll talk more about that in nursing school, but if you remember last week, I was debating whether or not to rip out my Camp Wiggly shawl. I did pretty much right after the episode. And this is how far... Oh, I stopped in the middle of a row, so I can't really show you. But this is how far I am on the new stockinette shawl. I have a little over 200 yards already done, which is way more than I had before on the Firebird shawl. So I think I figured... Well, one, I know I'll have enough time to finish it, and I might even have some time left over, which will be nice for the Podcasters Challenge. So it's coming along. It's gonna be like a blanket when it's done, but it's still probably gonna go to my grandma, because her favorite color is red, and I don't really know who else it would go to. And I am still planning on doing the beads on the border. Forget what the pattern that I'm going to be using for the border is. It's like it's not the simple shawl. It's like simple beaded shawl or first beaded shawl or something. So that is my one work in progress, and of course this is my stethoscope cozy. It's been pretty much around my neck all the time. So I guess the next thing I'll talk about are future projects. So I still can't tell you what my pattern is for the Plurk Podcasters Challenge, but I got the yarn on Monday because on Monday I found out what the pattern was, and I just knew which yarn I wanted to use for it, and it was on sale for that day only. So I got it. So it is to knit along with my pattern, which is by far the best pattern of all of the Plurk Podcasters. Hands down. I feel kind of bad because I wanted to try for the most altered pattern award, but I don't want to alter my pattern. I like it too much. So you will need, I think it's about 150 yards of worsted weight yarn. I'll be using the Lion brand woolies because I had a coupon and it was 2 for $5, and I actually got another skein of this that I will be using for another podcaster's knit along. So it's the Lion brand woolies. This is the Gray Heather colorway, and I like how it's going to work for my pattern, because I want to stay true to the pattern because I love it. It was already in my queue, and this is the perfect excuse to knit it. You will also need a set of size 5 circulars if you want to do Magic Loop or double points. These were also on sale at Joann's. I like the metal double points a little better, but I didn't want to have to buy 2 sets because the metal ones come in sets of 4. I didn't want to have to buy 2 sets for 5 needles, so I got the Takumi, just the bamboo ones, and I just have to be careful to keep them away from cats. And that is it. That is all you will need for this pattern. It would be good for using up some scraps of worsted weight that you might have, because it's only about 100 to 150 yards. So yeah, go find stuff. And sorry, there's a really big moth on the window, and it's a little creepy looking. So hopefully you will knit along with me. I'm definitely not trying for the most knit along, but it's an awesome pattern. It's literally, it's awesome, and it's probably already in your queue. So, other new things, I have already determined that I will be knitting along with a couple of other podcasters because I like their patterns, and because I want to show support, especially to a couple of podcasters. So I don't know how much. No, I'll say it next time. Why I'm doing certain podcasters challenge, but I got another. Yes, this is a different skein. So I got another skein of woolies for a different podcaster's knit along. I don't think she's recorded yet, so I'm not going to say what else you need for that one, because she'll tell you what else you need for that one. And I'm planning on going today for one of the other podcasters and getting, it's Aran weight yarn, and I think you only need like 150 for that one too. So the good thing about all of our patterns is, for the most part, they're really quick patterns. So I can be a crazy person and do like all of them. No, I'm not going to do all of them because some of them are more involved than others. A lot of them are really quick. Some of them are probably quick for the podcaster that's doing them, but no, it would not be quick for me. So that comes to, I think, the last knitting related thing that I have. And that is my birthday yarn. Yes, my birthday was over a month ago. But the story behind this yarn, if you have not seen the episode already, the previous episode, and I don't actually know that I've talked really about this. So Heather from Highland Handmaids conspired with my husband because we got married 5 days before my birthday. So a lot of the celebration was more for the wedding than for my birthday, which I was fine with because the wedding was awesome. But Will decided that he wanted to do something special that was clearly just for me. It wasn't a wedding gift that was for the two of us, but it was something just for me. So, if you haven't already seen the wedding pictures, you know, or if you have already, you know that my dress was blue, and I'm trying not to get the glare. And you can now see photo booth. Okay. Stupid glare. And that one will glare too. Okay. If you want to see a better picture, look on the blog. Okay. So, my wedding dress was blue, and we had a lot of white accents. I look horrible in white. Like, seriously. My nursing school uniform is white, and I think half of the reason I picked this stethoscope cozy is so that I would have color near my face, and I wouldn't look dead. So, what Will and Heather decided to do is Heather made a colorway for me inspired by, I think it was this photo from the wedding. It was this photo or this photo. This photo was obviously bigger and I cut it down in size. And so what she came up with is this yarn. And I love it. And I think that's actually showing up pretty true to color. So it's the kind of turquoise blue of my dress, for the most part, with touches of white and touches of green. And the green is both the green of the trees behind us, and more specifically, the green of the greenery in my flowers. I freaking love it. You know what else I love? Look at the colorway name. Oh, you can't read it because it's backwards. It's Mrs. Warrener. Yeah, that was all Will's idea. And I love him for it. I'm still deciding what this is going to be. It's, by the way, sugar maple sock yarn. It's probably going to be a shawl because I feel like anything with that much gorgeous color needs to be fully shown. I would love this base for socks, but I feel like socks hide it from the world, and so I want to show it off. So I absolutely love this yarn. Heather is amazing. Absolutely amazing, and I love it. Yeah, I swear she's gonna be getting like all of my money ever when I can actually afford it. Yeah, I love this so much. It makes me so happy just seeing it. So I've come up with something really good for it. If you have suggestions, I would appreciate them. I don't really know what to do with it, because I don't really want to do just, I mean, I could just do a stockinette body and that shows off the color, but I don't know. Maybe I'll design something for it like I'm doing for the Bright Screen Bow, because it needs something special, because it's special yarn. So we'll see. So that is it for knitting stuff. What I have now is nursing school stuff, because it was my first full week of nursing school, complete with my first set of quizzes and exams. So it has been, yeah, it's been a completely crazy week. I had class all day on Monday, on Tuesday, and then I was in the lab pretty much all day, the skills lab, Monday and Thursday, or Wednesday and Thursday, with open lab in the times in between. Because yesterday we had our first skills validation. And what that is there are, I believe, 5 sets of critical skills that every nurse has to be able to do. Otherwise you can't be an effective nurse. I know medication administration is going to be one of them. Physical assessment. I don't remember what the other 2 are. But the first one is vital signs and hand hygiene. So that's blood pressure, pulse, respirations, and being able to effectively wash your hands. Which some people did actually fail because they couldn't read the sheet. I don't understand how that's possible. But the way that validation works is you go in with your partner, so it's just the 2 of you and the instructor, and you use, for blood pressure, you use the special 2-headed stethoscope. So it would be 1 bell and then the tubing, and then when it'll split off right about here, and there'll be another set of earpieces on it. So you're both hearing exactly the same thing, and you'll tell the instructor, oh, you don't have to tell the instructor timing for blood pressure. You just both look at the same gauge for the blood pressure cuff. For blood pressure, you have to be within 4 millimeters of mercury for accuracy, otherwise you don't pass. And so, to put that in perspective, when you're saying your blood pressure is 120 over 80, that's 120 millimeters of mercury over 80 millimeters of mercury. So you have to be within 4 of those numbers, which is not a large margin of error, but it's not enough to really affect any treatment that would happen from analyzing those results, if that makes sense. So you do blood pressure, and then you count pulse and respiration. And for pulse, each of you has one of the wrists, because you're doing radial pulse. So your instructor will have one wrist, you'll have the other, and you both look at one clock and count for 30 seconds. You would say, you know, I'm starting at the 12, like when the second hand gets to the number 12, and then you go till the 6. Some instructors like you to say which is the first beat that you're counting, so you get the same result. And with that, you have to be within 2 per minute. And since you're doing it for 30 seconds, you have to be within 1 of what they count for the 30 seconds. Respirations is the same thing, only you're both staring intently at your partner's chest, counting respirations for 3 seconds. And you also have to be within 2 per minute, so 1 of the 30 seconds. I was lucky and passed all of them. I actually don't think I had any disparity between my results and the instructors, which is always nice. And unfortunately, my blood pressure is slightly irregular when I am stressed out, and my partner did not pass her blood pressure. She will be able to revalidate. You have 3 tries to do it. She'll be able to revalidate, hopefully on someone else. Mine was doing weird things because we were practicing on each other beforehand, and it was, you know, normal, like 120 over 80, and once we got into the validation room, it was like 160. So if you know what a person normally runs, you're supposed to only go about 30 millimeters of mercury beforehand, because you don't want to pump it up to like 200 if their normal blood pressure is like 110, because then it's just painful to have it on for that long. So she pumped it up to about 150, and she was already hearing my pulse when she started releasing the air. So you're not going to get an accurate measurement from that. So she'll be fine, and she knows what she's doing, and she will be able to revalidate on Monday, and if it's on someone else, she'll be able to do it just right off the bat, because she passed everything else. And then after we did vital signs, we went in for we went in for hand hygiene, which basically involved someone carefully watching us to make sure that we washed our hands correctly, which is more difficult than it sounds, because they will count you off for the smallest thing. I come from a food service background, so I'm used to washing my hands a certain way. The biggest thing is I'm used to not touching the handles of the faucet with the dirty parts of my hands. I'm used to using like an elbow or something to turn it on, washing my hands, turning them off with the clean hands, and then drying my hands off. That doesn't work for the hospital setting. You're turning it off, or you're turning it on with your dirty hands, washing your hands, and they'll count, you know, how often you wash the backs and the wrists and stuff. You have to do it for a certain amount of time. You have to use, like this, you have to use your nails to clean under your fingernails with the soap and everything. You have to rinse off, all the while keeping your wrists above your fingers, like your hands below your elbows. And then with the water still running, you dry your hands from fingertips down your wrists, kind of like how you see in movies with surgeries where they're holding their hands up like this. So excess water will drip off, and you dry down so that if you have any water that's getting onto the part that you haven't necessarily washed, it's not going back up. And then after you've dried off your hands, and you have to use one per, you can't take the dirty paper towel from this side and then dry off that side. And then with a new paper towel, you turn off the water. Which, I understand the rationales, but it's really hard for me to not turn off the water once I'm done with it. Because I hate wasting it. So I actually wound up practicing a lot this week, so I didn't mess that up because, come on, that's a really stupid one to mess up. So I passed with flying colors, which I am excited about. I'm going to put my photo back. It's just nice to get a feel for how you're going to be tested for the rest of your time in nursing school. And it's a nice confidence builder to be like, okay, I can do this. I know what the hell I'm doing. So this week I will go in for my clinical orientation and get, a tour of the hospital. I found out that we are working on a floor that's a general medical floor, so we'll have, asthma patients, COPD patients, not patients with heart disease, because they would be on cardio. We won't have cancer patients, which is good. I don't know that I could take a lung cancer patient being my first patient. I can have them be my second, just not my first. So there's a very slim chance that I would have that as my first patient. It's just general medical. I mean, we won't have any cardio patients. We'd have maybe mild cardio, but not serious heart patients. We wouldn't have cancer patients. I don't think we would have many trauma patients. It's, renal failure, liver disease, general things like that. So I'm looking forward to that, and being able to finally get my butt inside the hospital. I am truly hoping that the marriage license comes before that, because I don't want to have my instructor make me an ID at the hospital and then have to make a new one because my name is now different. I'm really hoping it comes on like Monday or Tuesday. That would be cool. Because my orientation's on Wednesday. And then Thursday is Skills Blitz. So half of us are going to the hospital for our orientation on Wednesday, half are going on Thursday. If you're not going for your clinical orientation, you're in the lab from 8 to 5, and you're practicing every single skill that we have learned so far, which is going to be insane. Well, no, I think half of it is learning the new skills for this week, which are, if I remember correctly, wound care and sterile procedures. So, if your patient has any sort of skin trauma or they're out of surgery, you know how to take care of their wound, how to flush it, how to change bandaging properly, stuff like that. I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but we got to learn activities of daily living this week. Woo-hoo. So, making a bed with hospital corners, bathing a patient, oral hygiene, hair, feeding a patient, assisting with meals, and documenting intake and output, and everything that entails. I'll let you figure that one out. So we'll be practicing that, we'll be practicing vital signs, we'll be practicing... I would assume we're learning the wound care in the morning and then skills blitzes in the afternoon. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. It's good preparation because starting next week we'll be in the hospital. Well, there's a group A and a group B, and we switch weeks. So group A will be in the hospital on 1 week, and that same week group B will be in the lab, and then we switch. So starting next week, so that's the week of Labor Day, I will be in the hospital, which is kind of insane. I'm really looking forward to it. That's pretty much it. Just practicing any and all skills that I can on Will, watching my videos over and over and over, and knitting on the Shawl of Doom. I'm really just going to try and get as much of that done this week that I can, because I know that once the projects are able to be released for the Poor Podcaster Challenge, I'm going to have to cast on. And I'm usually a process knitter, not a project knitter. But when it comes to little items like hats, I want them to be done because I know that I can finish them in a day or two. So for mine, I'm going to have to work at spacing myself out because it's supposed to be week 1 you show the pattern and you haven't started. Week 2 you show your progress. Week 3 you show the finished object. So I'm probably going to have to stop myself. Other people with the pattern that I have been able to finish it in a day or two. So I'm going to prevent myself from doing that. Because I don't want to show you the finished object on the second week. I might show you finished objects from some of the other podcasters' knit-alongs. And hopefully my Camp Loopy shawl in that second week, because I believe that corresponds, jeez, with the week of the 15th. I woke up this morning at my usual time and then realized that it was Saturday, and so I didn't need to be up that early, so I went back to sleep, and that always messes me up, and I'm tired the rest of the day, and I don't know why I do it. I think it's so I can spend more time with my husband. So other unrelated things this week that couldn't fit, sorry, that couldn't fit into a different category. I will be having, hopefully, if she's up to it, a special guest for my podcast next week. I won't be recording until Sunday, and if she's watching this right now, she knows exactly who she is. I'm going to leave it as a surprise so that if she's not feeling up to it, she does not have to record with me. But I'm looking forward to that. So it'll either be Sunday night or Monday morning that I'll be able to record. So it'll definitely be up by Monday afternoon at the very latest. And I'm looking forward to that. And yeah. A lot of this week is practicing skills here at home and preparing the house. I've been trying to do all the laundry on the weekends so that I don't have to bother with it during the weekdays. And I definitely have to clean my uniforms after this week. But this should be the first week that I don't have class at all on Friday, which I'm very much looking forward to. Because I won't have class on Friday, and I won't have class that next Monday, because it will be Labor Day. So I get a 4-day weekend. I think I might have a test that week, though, so I'll probably be studying for that. And I'll be... No, I won't be able to prep for my patient care because I won't get their chart until that Tuesday. I might just have to take one of those days just for me, which I definitely did yesterday afternoon. after I got home from validation, I didn't want to do anything that had to do with nursing. I intentionally, made it so I couldn't find my videos. I couldn't do any of that stuff. I'll be doing that probably today, but I got home, I got to watch horror movies, I made monkey bread. I just got to take time for me, which was very nice, and knitting, of course. One of the horror movies that I watched, which I will definitely recommend, was Scream 4. Oh dear Lord, it's amazing. And not in a bad horror movie kind of way, it was actually really awesome. I was a little worried when they said there was going to be a Scream 4, because, how many sequels can you do of the same series? And I didn't really know what they were going to do with it. It was awesome. I would highly recommend it for Halloween. I think this Halloween we may be doing a horror movie marathon, because the actual day of Halloween I don't have class because there is a faculty retreat. I know that's also the week of homecoming, so I'll probably be doing things on campus for the School of Nursing. But I'm hoping to have, maybe sometime that weekend or on Monday, a horror movie marathon, and I think the 4 Scream movies might have to be in there. I'm also going to try to get my hands on the final Saw movie, because I've seen 1 through 6 and I have not seen 7 yet, and that would also be a fitting marathon to have for Halloween. And of course Rocky Picture Show. That's not going to be on there. So yeah, if you have not seen Scream 4, I would highly recommend it. I love the Scream series, how they're self-parroting, and I really just loved the beginning of Scream 4. It was hilarious. And the movie was really good. I'm not going to say anything more, because you have to go see it. So yeah, that is about it for this week. I, again, am Notable Needle on Ravelry, on Plurk, and on Twitter. There is a Ravelry group. That's what I forgot to mention. There's a Ravelry group on Ravelry. That's Notable Needlework Podcast. And you should join and say things, because no one else is. And that's about it. I will be probably staring at this for the rest of the day because I love this yarn. And probably going and getting more yarn for different knit-alongs, and for going to Costco finally for the first time in a couple of months, because we really need to go and get stuff. Yeah. I hope you're having a good week, and that any exams or trials and tribulations or whatever you have went as well as mine did, because that was awesome. Bye, guys.